I had just done a video recently on Myrrh 55, which is a brand new release by the French brand Labo. Now I'm going to be doing a fragrance first impression, if you will. It's not a full review because I don't have a full bottle on hand. This is Lavande 31, so just came out. These samples were sent to me courtesy of my friend Chris, so thank you so much for the generosity here. I'm really looking forward to giving you my first impression on this brand new release, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new Lavande 31 by Labo, you guys know that I am a fan of Labo fragrances. I don't wear them as often as I'd like to, but I have everything from Santal 33 to Patchouli 24, Oud 27, Rose 31. Don't have Vetiver 46, but I'm going to need to purchase that one soon, but I do have a ton of fragrances from the brand. Before I begin today's first impression, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, hit the subscribe button, please, please, please hit the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would assist tremendously. So, Lavande 31. This is a lavender-based fragrance, and it's quite interesting. You know, lavender is such a popular ingredient in perfumes, in fougères, and just so many different genres. So to think that the brand has been around for such a long time and this is their first time tackling the note of lavender. So it does have the laboratory style themed. If you're familiar with the brand, I often visit the boutique on 233 Elizabeth Street in the Soho neighborhood of Manhattan, and it's really nice. I love the aesthetic of it, and 31 indicates or signifies the number of ingredients that are found in the perfume, and lavender is the most concentrated one. So that's why it's called Lavande 31. So this is a lavender-based fragrance, but of course it also has neroli, bergamot, there's musk, there's tonka bean. So it's aromatic, certainly, but it has a nice citrusy appeal to it as well. It's interesting, I went online and I was reading up on a few other comparisons, and people were comparing it to the likes of Eternity for Men by Calvin Klein. Somebody said it smells similar to, or a few people rather, said it smelled similar to 4711 by Maurer and Wirtz. And so I was looking at these comparisons, and somebody even said that it reminds them a bit of Bergamot 22, which is another Labo fragrance that I've owned for many, many years. I've went on vacations and I brought it with me, and it's one of my favorites, right? It's great for the hotter weather. So, Lavande 31, the first thing that I can say about it is it's very fresh, smooth, and tranquil. It kind of brings this aura of calm and serenity about your, persona, if you will, and it puts you in a very tranquil and serene state of mind. And I love that about it. There are some Labo fragrances that are very harsh, very abrasive, Oud 27, Patchouli 24, Vetiver 46, and Poivre 23. These are very heavy-handed. And then, of course, you try something like this and it's like, oh, this is nice and cool and calming. And it does kind of remind you a little bit of Bergamot 22 in terms of the vibe that it gives across. And in terms of the serenity, it kind of brings to mind fragrances like Another 13, that's a synthetic sort of a fragrance, but it kind of brings to mind like the smoothness of that fragrance, if you will. It's not harsh or anything. So with this fragrance, you do get the lavender, but thank goodness, it doesn't smell like Fabuloso. It doesn't smell like a cleaning product or anything like that. And I know some people make that subconscious association and they get a bit deterred from purchasing or even sampling lavender-based perfumes. That's not the case here. So, of course, we can be put at ease. So it does have that smooth lavender in the opening. The citrus is really nice. And of course, it's the inclusion of the neroli that allows those comparisons to 4711 to be made. But I don't think there's a whole lot of neroli. It's a nice balance of neroli and bergamot. And the citrus is high quality. It works in harmony with the lavender. And it's interesting because there is a new diesel perfume that came out, and it was basically lavender and vanilla. I did a review of it, and I think it's just called D, like the letter D. And that combination of like something sweet in the dry down with lavender almost gives across like this contemporary masculine quality. Like this is what the modern gentleman wants to smell like, basically. So I don't know if this was the brand's effort to target that demographic, or if they were just like, look, let's just use a lavender ingredient that's high quality, it's sourced properly, it smells really good, and they just kind of deferred to the creative prowess and the direction of the perfumer, right? And I suppose that that's what happened here. This one, and I'm going to be honest with you, is the fragrance from the brand that is leaning more on the compliment getting side of things. So if you walk into a Labo boutique and suppose I work there and you said, look, I'm looking for something with mass appeal. I want to get complimented. I want people to smell this on me and to think that, hey, you just smell really, really good. What are you going to recommend? Bergamot 22 would probably be at the top of that list. And I know there's, I think, a Neroli offering called Neroli 36. I think I have the number correct. That would be very high on my recommendations list. But this one would be in the number 1 or the number 2 spot. I would say, have you tried the brand new Lavande 31? So this is a fragrance that is manufactured or composed to appeal to a large number of people. I don't know if that's what the intention was, but that's certainly what the outcome is going to be. It's very nice, it's very smooth, it's kind of soapy at the same time too, that I really enjoy about it. And I think that's a combination of the aromatic properties, the citrus, and it, I smelled it for a while and I was like, what is this reminding me of? There's something that's coming to mind and I'm not entirely sure what it is. I know what it is now. It reminds me of Naviglio by Milano Fragranze in like that blue apothecary style bottle. Alessandro Brun is the creative director. It's a sister brand to Masque Milano. It's Naviglio by Milano Fragranze. Now, if you want the stronger fragrance, I would go with Naviglio, not with this one. This one is kind of, it's mass appealing and it has the smoothness to it and it has that aura of calm and serenity and tranquility, and it does smell slightly soapy without smelling powdery, which is good. But the longevity on Naviglio is so much better. So if you like this style, say, okay, you walk into a department store that carries Le Labo products. You smell this, you fall in love with it. It's like, oh my God, this is an awesome DNA. Now you want something that gives you better performance and is probably going to be more inexpensive. Try Naviglio by Milano Fragranze. But I love this one. This one is great. Myrrh 55 I wasn't crazy about, just because it's a little heavy-handed on the patchouli. It's very earthy, very dry. It has the florals in there. It's a little, by traditional standards, it's a little feminine leaning. So I wasn't crazy about Myrrh 55. If it were a little bit more on the ambery and balsamic side of things with tolu balsam and labdanum and benzoin, I would have said, this is awesome. But it was a little bit too reminiscent of some other fragrances that, in my opinion, are feminine leaning. But this one is nice. It's really, really nice. The only issue is that I have a couple other fragrances in my collection that are similar to it that I think I'd prefer to wear. But if I didn't have those fragrances and if I didn't know about those fragrances, I would certainly be picking this one up, but I would totally recommend it, right? And perhaps this is something that'll get stronger with age. You buy a bottle, you leave it for a few months to macerate, and the complexity is not there. It's not complex. It is linear, but only on account of the citrus in the opening. Everything else is pretty resolute, but try it for yourself. Lavande 31, I think it's an awesome fragrance, all things considered, and I hope you have the opportunity to try it if indeed, you go to a Le Labo boutique or you go to Saks, or, if you find them available in another department store in your area. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this one because I think it's a solid release, mass appealing. It is a compliment getter. I shared my thoughts with you. First impression here, maybe I'll get a bottle in the future. It would be redundant for me though. It'd be very, very redundant. So I'm leaning more towards no, but nevertheless, Chris, thank you again for sending me the sample. Really appreciate it, my friend. If you enjoyed this video, this first impressions video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, give this video a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.